Let's start right in, Calvin. Since you're the first time guest, if you just take a minute and give us your origin story a little bit, how you got into all this, how you got the space bug, and a little bit what your company does, and then we're gonna just go dive right into stuff.
Yeah, sure. So out of high school, I wasn't really a great student, so I went to the Marine Corps. I was in the infantry, deployed a couple times, realized that that really wasn't for me. Decided that I was going to use my GI Bill, and I went to Purdue back in Indiana, where I'm from. Got my mechanical engineering degree. While I was there, I had a chance to work on explosives research. So I went from deploying explosives to researching them.
Okay.
And that introduced me to aerospace. Started working at Northrop Grumman. After that, went on to after I graduated, went to Belcan, working at Virgin Galactic, but was still kind of in the aviation, like this weird crossover world. Um, and said, okay, well, this space thing's pretty cool. In the meantime, I moved down to Florida. Was right outside of when Blue Origin they went through a big surge for hiring, and I was like, you know what, I think I might be able to hop on that train. And this was back in 2022. So was there for about a year. Then I went to go work at Beyond Gravity up in Titusville doing satellite manufacturing. And then I worked at a company called Extant Aerospace doing obsolescent avionics. So touched a lot of basically every type of electronic system that's inside of a plane.
Okay.
And said, okay, well, I've got all these weird skills, worked in a whole bunch of different roles. I'm not really good at any of these things. But I do think I'm a bit of a generalist now. So um, put together a spreadsheet, tried to and analyze some different technologies with Starship and New Glenn coming online. Like what capability unlocks are we going to have? Um, and I've always been interested in Bitcoin. I'm a little bit of a evangelical Bitcoiner, so
Okay.
I'll save that. But one of the things that I saw was that we might be able to levelize energy in space versus energy on Earth with these new round of launch vehicles. And if you're able to do that, then now what can we do?
Uh-huh.
And that's why I've named the company Dyson Sphere Laboratories, because I think we're actually a lot closer to that than people realize.
Nice, nice. I I don't know if you know. I was kind of like shoot myself in the foot when I talk about it, but I was a very early Bitcoin adopter, and one at one point I had 14 Bitcoin, so I was pretty happy about that. Oh
Yeah.
no! I see where you're going. You're wrong. Um, I when the price was around 900 per coin, I
Yep.
was like, "There's no way this mythical ones and zeros thing is ever going to hit over 1,000. There's no way it can." So me, genius that I am, timing the market, I'm going to sell at the top at $950 per coin. So that's what I did, and I liquidated, and I've just watched it climb ever since. So, yep, those were the 2000. I just a couple days ago I was going through paperwork, old paperwork. I found a receipt for one of my interns for that summer. Was 2000. I think it was 2018 or 19. And I'm like, oh, it was $1,200, right, for his 2 weeks work. So I went back and I looked up the price of Bitcoin that I liquidated so I could pay him his American salary for 2 weeks. And that one paycheck was worth $14,000 if he had just kept the coin that and over the whole summer, just him and the other guy that worked for me. Yeah, I just liquidated my holdings just to make sure that they got paid. So,
Yeah. It
yep,
is what
that's my
it is.
Bitcoin story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it happens to the best of us.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there
what's
was
your
no such
focus
thing as
now,
hold on till dear life back then. Not really.
Michael?
So, what?
Sure.
So what's your focus now, Calvin, on your current company?
Well, so the Bitcoin really hasn't like left my focus insofar as that I think that this is a tool for sovereignty,
Okay.
which is going to be increasingly important in space. Um, and this whole data centers in space thing, like that was something that I was kind of pontificating on, trying to figure out like what could a company look like that does that. Now that this was a couple of years ago, so now this is a lot more becoming apparent. Things are starting to solidify what the move to bring more compute into space, what it's going to look like. Um, but our company is focused at the protocol layer for the time being, meaning that we have software that we're offering to folks with the idea that this is going to increase the interoperability of space. So if you're familiar with like OAuth 2.0, where you can use Google to sign in to different websites,
Yeah.
is an authorization. And then also you have that SSL TLS lock icon when you're in a secure HTTP link. Those two types of cryptography are extremely powerful, but there's no standard protocol that's like that for space yet. There's a bunch of different attempts, but there's no way to, if you treat each space asset as like a website, there's no way to link all of these things together and really start treating data connectivity, data as a pipeline is more of a commodity inside the market. So our company's trying to onboard people into a marketplace and bring down the prices of everything and render higher quality service to customers in general.
Okay.
Okay, who are your customers?
So right now, I think that the beachhead market, so to speak, is going to be in downlink optimization. So what that means is that uh, both ground stations are going to be important in this, as well as finding people where they're downlinked, where they are bottlenecked by their downlink capability. Um, so what we're hoping to do is have a system that um, allows people to be able to not have to deal with the very long onboarding process associated with being able to have two aerospace companies talk to each other today. Where if we can get them to adopt our protocol, that's basically it runs at the application layer. It's extremely lightweight with regards to the type of cryptography that's used. It's just the way that you would tell an asset that you want to do a function call or whatever it may be on that asset. If we can get multiple people to use this format, then we can really start having space communicate to each other in a very agnostic, hardware and constellation agnostic way that doesn't really exist today.
Okay. How do you get that done and smooth it out and maintain good security?
Well, so inherent to cryptography, there is the cryptographic protocols themselves are all open source. And this is on purpose because if you break a cryptographic scheme in somehow, you become pretty infamous inside the world of cybersecurity because you just solved a problem that nobody else could. So open protocols are a big part of this. And taking the open frameworks that exist inside of systems like the internet and applying those distributed system technologies to space is really what we're trying to do. I think the internet is a really great analogy for what we're trying to build.
The internet for space, so connectivity between spacecraft, space stations, that sort of stuff. Okay.